should be in our Christian marriage life? Practical. That means we have learned a lot of stuff. Now we put into practice. How do we really convert intellectual knowledge into daily life? Number one, again and again, is consider God's purpose and vision for marriage, because that is like the destination where you are going. So the practicum of marriage life is as well for married, as well for single and anyone. Now, God's purpose and vision for marriage, the ultimate purpose is the marriage of the Lamb. Revelation 19, we're going to read again just to refresh our memory. Revelation 19, verse 7 to 9, read. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready. Verse 8, and to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. So this is about all saints. It's not just about husband and wife. No, all saints, all Christian, all born again, all renewed minds, all selfless minds. Now, verse 9, and he has said unto me, write, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said unto me, these are the true saying of God. The marriage supper will take place right after the wedding. It will take place where? In heaven. A lot of people want to go to heaven. Therefore, you're going to have the reception. When you have a wedding, right after the wedding, you have the reception. And that represents the marriage supper. So how possibly could you be part of the reception if you did not partake the wedding itself? You can't. So many Christians want to go to heaven, partake the marriage supper, but did not prepare themselves for the marriage of the Lamb. They make it impossible. This is the worst thing ever in Christian life, where our mind is so focused on going to heaven that we are not developing a relationship that will allow us to get into the marriage of the Lamb. So prior to the marriage of the Lamb, there is a need to cleanse, to remove every rancor, every spot, every blemishes from the church. Cleanse the church. We go to back in Ephesians chapter 5. Let's look at it. Ephesians 5, verse 21, and then 25 to 27. Ephesians 5, verse 21, read. Submitting yourself one to another in the fear of God. That is the foundation of true Christian life. Husband have the spirit of Christ of submission. The wife have the same spirit. We have the environment of selflessness. In that environment, then verse 22 follow. Wives, submit yourself to your own husband as unto the Lord. In that spirit of selflessness, submission become very safe for the wife. Otherwise, become an abuse. And these are the things that many of us, as men, we are very ignorant about. We claim to be the head. We do not have the character of the head, which is humility, patience, Christ-like. But we just want that part of the Bible that says we are the head and why need to submit to us. But God gave the context. He explained everything right. So it's very important. Otherwise, it can turn into severe abuse that can be destructive. Now let's go to verse 25, 26, and 27. Read. Husband, love your wife, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word. So the atmosphere is selfless. And then now, husband and wife that represent the little church and children, if they have, everyone will submit to the cleansing by the word, the sanctification by the word of God at home. Every member, husband, wife, children, and anyone. Then verse 27, that he might present to himself a glorious church, not having a spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So every individual in a family want to be cleansed from every spot, every wrinkle, every blemish, is that we can partake the marriage of the Lamb. Revelation 19, verse 7 to 9. So the husbands are working with God, with Christ, about his character defect. You might be a husband like John, okay? John, the son of thunder. His character is compared to thunder. That means he is so full of self, very defensive, that it can be compared to thunder. But when he submitted to the divine transformation, at the end, he becomes a meek child of God, transformed. Look at Stephen, transformed. Moses, started by killing someone, but at the end, he gave his life for everybody. So God made a provision for everyone to be transformed. Everyone. For which purpose? For the matter of the Lamb. And that's actually also the purpose of investigation, judgment, and atonement. It's so connected. If we get this so clear, then the practicum will be so easy to see. So the purpose is the marriage of the Lamb. How do we get there? We let Christ cleanse us so that we can put on the white linen, clean and white linen, which is the righteousness of the saint, which is the life of obedience, the very life of Christ. So this leads us to one thing, living the life of Christ daily. And how Christ lived his life, we went through that a whole lot. Every morning he go for the devotion, which is solely focused on fresh baptism of the Holy Spirit. And then after that, he's focused on meditating on the love of the Father. And then number 3, throughout the day, he's in thanksgiving and gratitude. Number 4, that selfless life always flows, express. Number 5, his mind is set on heavenly things. Number 6, the Father is with him. He said, he that sent me is with him. The Father is always with him, through Gabriel protecting him 24/7. And number 7, Christ have a loving covenant relationship with the Father. Here's the 7th dimension of the life of Jesus Christ that must become practical in our life. And this prepares us for the marriage of the Lamb. So when the husband believes this thing, the wife believes the same thing. And the children, if they are growing enough, believe the same thing. So everyone will have a practical life of the way Christ lived, because we are cleansed by the blood of the Lamb. And the blood of the Lamb means the life of Jesus, that daily life. So that's how our conscience is purged. Hebrew chapter 9, verse 14. So practically, this is what should be happening in our home. And that life of Christ is a selfless life. So when we start having that selfless life, it will be expressed to who? To your spouse, to your children, to God, even to your own self. So this can go in details. Christ said he delighted to do the will of the Father. So selfless life will become delightful. Please follow me very carefully. If these foundations are not strongly set, we'll run into doing a lot of stuff that will be very exhaustive because the motives are selfish. You can give a gift and expect to be rewarded for it. And when you don't get a reward for it, guess what? You get offended. You think you can give the same gift and just delight to give it. You don't expect anything back. You just delight and feel satisfied, fulfilled, and accomplished in doing so. That's called selfless. So this will move a husband to constantly ask wife, what can I do today to make your day better? That selflessness lead a man to want to know, how are you feeling today? Not for any reward. I keep saying this for a very good reason. Oh, I did this for you, didn't do anything for me. If you get to that level, you are in prison. You're gonna be, it's a work to do. That's what a lot of marriage counseling is teaching people. Or you're gonna start giving gifts, go out sometime, do this, trying to win a person over. Let me tell you about human being a little bit. We are so difficult that even our maker, our creator, God Almighty, have a problem dealing with us. Look at the wilderness. He's feeding them every day, take care of them. He's right there by the pillar of light in the night and by the cloud protecting them, providing everything for them. But these people don't trust him still. So what do you think you can do for any human being that will be enough? More than that, Christ accepted to be crucified naked is not enough. People still questioning if God loved them. Never ever try to satisfy a human being. You are incapable to do that. Never try to win a human being over. You cannot. If the death of Christ on the cross cannot win a person, what do you think you can offer to win anybody? Think about it. What? Gifts? More dates? If you say if you date more, it will be better. No. Until mind is renewed from selfishness to selflessness, it can never be satisfied. That's why the death of Christ means nothing to a selfish mind. Question. If the love of Christ, our creator, cannot satisfy a soul, what do you think you can do for that soul that will satisfy that soul? The answer is nothing. So for that reason, you don't do things for your spouse trying to change them or try to win them over or try to improve the relationship. No, you do it because you are selfless and you delight to do so. This is a secret in a true marriage life. You do good because it's good and make you feel good and full of stuff. If you compare what you give with what you receive, you're running into business. It's become a transaction. I call it transactional relationship. It's painful when you don't get, I will say, equivalent to what you think you offer. That's why many of us we run into a lot of stress. I did everything. I sacrificed myself. I did this. I did that. If you do it to receive a corresponding reward, you are set for pain and suffering. Love your spouse as you love any child. Meaning, when you do things for children, you just enjoy doing it. Just do it like that. I'm not saying to treat your spouse as a child. Don't say that. I said do good because it's good in the set. If you can stop at that level, oh, you're going to prevent yourself from a lot of hurt, a lot of confusion. So we are talking about you to be so transformed, to be so renewed that you delight to be selfless. That is the whole key. Throughout the day, you can call your wife just to express that you are thinking about her. Hello, how are you? I'm just thinking about you. I want to make sure you're fine. Yes, it's going to make her feel really good. But you do it because you just express selflessness, that you are concerned. That's where it should come from. It should not come from, oh, I always call you and you don't do this, you don't do that for me, you don't do anything for me. In the very moment you're doing it for something, it becomes a problem. Why? It becomes selfish. So we need to be very, very much concerned. How do we get selflessness? From our constant, selfless, covenantal, loving relationship with Christ for the matter of the Lamb. That's where we get selflessness from every day. Wanting to live like Christ daily by the infilling of the Holy Spirit. That's how we get selflessness from daily. Then it can be expressed to your spouse. The Bible says to deal with, let me read this stuff right here. So when we, number one, we set, when we set the purpose and the vision very clear, the second thing to understand is the law of marriage. And that law of marriage is what? The selfless life by which we are daily cleansed, preparing us for the matter of the Lamb. That is the law, the functioning. And we're going to be growing in character until we mature and be ready for it. And when we understand purpose, we understand the laws, this is going to lead us to live by and grow. Now, when that is real, you cannot help someone if you don't know the person need. This is a very important thing now to pause. You can't do good to me if you don't know what I need. And by the way, you can't even love me if you don't know my need. It's impossible. Why? The laws and need are so intertwined that you can't separate them. For example, right now, what's the law of my physical life? I have to breathe, I have to eat, I have to drink, and I have to move. At least these four, at least. At the same time, they are the need for my life. Is the law that regulates my life. At the same time, it's a need that I can function by. So I need to breathe. I need to eat. I need to drink. I need to move. The need and the law are one. You can't separate them. So if you are selfless and you want to express your love to your spouse, listen up. You need to study the need of your spouse. I'm talking about true need, because the devil has created a lot of need for us, like wearing what do you call it? Wearing ring, or whatever you call these things. You don't need none of this stuff. It's a fabrication for business. And people should not be bullying each other for any ring. Anybody hear me? They're pure fabrication. Your grandmother didn't need any ring. That was fine. They need a faithful man, hard worker, provider that cherish them. That's all they really need. All the other stuff is fabrication. Okay, we fabricate a lot of stuff just to run the business system. So the need, we are talking about the need of the being. So men, if you really love your wife, listen up now. You gotta take time and study women. You gotta study their brain, how their brain works, how their hormone works, how their emotion function. Oh, you gotta study, brother. Oh, let's read what the Bible says. God, you might think like I'm making this thing up. The Bible says something here that if you don't, you run into a lot of trouble. First Peter chapter 3, verse 7, read. It says, likewise, ye husband, dwell with them according to knowledge. Okay, you got to deal with your wife according to what? Knowledge. It's a being. Let me give you a few examples. Let's say a man is in his 60s, the wife same, and she's having some real hard flush with menopause, maybe in her 50s, yeah, something like that. And they are in a winter, it's cold. Poor husband's cold, and wife say, I'm too hot. Imagine if that man didn't know anything about menopause. How are he going to feel about that? He would think that the wife was lying. In reality, she's going through some horrible situation. But if you know, you understand about menopause, what is going on, then you become supportive. It's okay. What can I do for you? Like, what are this? Like, you will become a supporter. Otherwise, if you are ignorant, you're running into unnecessary talk. A man, you should take time. We should be taught from very young about woman nature in general. Another example, when a woman is saying, I feel, and don't take that lightly, she literally feels that. We quickly run into thinking mode that make a particular part of our brain function to think, to reason, go through all of that. At that moment, she say, I feel, and the feeling go through another complete neural pathway. That's why you argue at home for nothing sometimes. So when she is expressing her feeling, what do you do as a man who understands? You go along, say, I understand. Follow with that. You don't bring reason unless you're ignorant like myself and start learning quickly. God made a woman with that feeling because she need to manage a lot of nurturing that need feeling. And you don't have a whole lot of that as a man. We have a little bit, but not a lot. So many of us as men, we got locked up into just reasoning. And we think women also just reasoning. No. Sometimes they are very emotional about something. If at that moment you are thinking, I'm sorry you're missing out. How is she going to perceive that? You are heartless, rude, unloving. But in reality, you love her, but you're just ignorant. So as a man, when your wife end up crying for something, don't start thinking, what she's been crying for. Like, what is it? You are ignorant, God. People, at that moment, she need a hug. She needs some reassurance. I'm here. It's going to be okay. We're going to pray. God going to open the doors. At that moment, you are going to go along with that. What that means, you understand that it's a much more emotional being than you. And you express selflessness. She needed the support in that emotional moment. Remember, I said, if you love, you keep the law. In the law is the function of the need. So you will want to meet the need of your spouse. You become a resting place to your wife. You know, she can be going through anything. My husband is going to be there for me. It's the best gift to your wife to be always present. Not just physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, everything. If you're a man, I can tell you this, it's more important than any gift. You can buy a brand new car to a woman. It's not much important than being present emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Because of her nature as a nurturer, she really needs that. But unfortunately, sometimes we don't understand, and we treat women as a man. And what are you gonna say? My husband don't care about me. She's just saying that she don't feel emotionally connected. She don't feel emotionally supported when she's going through anything. But in reality, husband do honestly love her. Make any sacrifice, whatever she wants, but he think he's doing it. So the best thing to do is you study the need of the machine, how the machine works, what the machine need to operate. So it's necessary that at a step number 3, everybody spend time to study the need of your spouse. Let me give you an example of another. Women feel words way more than men. For example, when a man sincerely, genuinely said to a woman, I truly love you, that word goes straight in her brain and trigger, and she feels that. It may have feel, and she can even release more oxytocin. Now, women try to tell the man, I love you so much. Okay, thank you. Just thank you. All right. It means a little bit, but not like it means to a woman. But when a woman understands the man need, we're going to look at it in a few minutes, and she respects him, then the man can say, yes, my wife loves me so much. Understanding our need to function is fundamental. You cannot love someone if you cannot express your selflessness by meeting their need. It's impossible. Christ says, if you love me, keep my what? My commandment. Commandment means what? Law. Law means what? Need, the functional need. So you can't love your spouse if you cannot keep their commandment. The commandment of women is what they need to function. Because law is the principle that regulates the functioning of anything. Can it be animate or inanimate? That's what law is. It regulates, it's a fixed and changeable principle that regulates the functioning. So if you love me, keep my commandments so that we can function. So when a man loves a woman, he must learn her need because she needs to function. That's the law of her being, of her life. Vice versa. When a man understands the power of the word, then he will control how you talk to your spouse, wife. Even in making love, if you know how to use word, or you can arouse your wife to the level you can imagine. Yeah. Oh, trust me, it works so much well. If a man understands how much women feel world, you will do your favor not to be using any insulting or angry words because the effect is way more than you think. Vice versa for the good words. I'm going to tell you something, okay? So one day I tried something. I'm like, okay, I'm going to use a lot of words today. So I purposely want to see to which level this thing really function. Because this for adult, I'm sorry. Any child watching this, turn off, please. So, well, I'm married, so I want to say this like that. I was having sex, okay? And I quickly start saying things while I'm doing tough, okay? I'm saying how she cook, how I love her food. I say, I appreciate how you take care of the children. I was literally saying that, and I was active. Are you hearing me? And then I said, I appreciate your body. Oh, trust me, it does not last 5 minutes before you can start realizing that this thing is really working. When I was done, I was like, what happened today? She said, you don't know how much you make me feel when you were saying this thing. I'm like, oh, this thing really worked then. And I'm like, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Get it. It is so important that a man you study the need, what make wife function right. You cannot talk about love if you cannot be selflessly meeting the need of your spouse. If she cook food or do a lot of stuff, all she need at the end is a simple hug and Thanksgiving. If you pass your hand like this 20 seconds on your wife, she will release right there oxytocin right away. And that cool down all the stress throughout the day. It helps her to function. You don't need a hug. She needed to function. Do you get it, brother? We got to study women need. They are so complicated themselves, don't understand fully themselves. I'm saying this in a right way, okay? In a good way, not in a negative way. You got to study. But some of us ignorant, what do? She get food, do everything right. Maybe cooking the food, she cut her finger or get burned. Go into all of that. And when you come, oh, why there's too much salt in the food? Or why you don't have enough? You don't have enough salt. What about you? Keep quiet, go get a salt, put in the food and eat it. And after that, be thankful. You ever create any human being? No. Be thankful to God and to her. So we're going to learn to stop being too complaining, whining like little children, because it's discouraging. It's not feeding her to do better. If you want to correct something, choose a better time for it and make it a suggestion. There's a very way to do things that you can make your wife do so much if you know how to meet her need that she can function. Make it a rule as a man every day to be appreciative. Sometimes we're going to ask you, do you think my body is the same? You love my body still? You better say yes and be honest about it. Yeah. Because sometimes they feel insecure about themselves. Oh, I have children, my breast coming down, my body coming down, and my husband still love me the same way. Yes. They need to be reassured that have nothing to do with anything. I love your being, not just your body. If your body change, fine. Look at the great thing have produced children. And she's like, yes, okay, I'm good. I'm good. You as a man, you don't need that. She needs to be reassured that her body is still this. You appreciate the body the same way. She needs that. Are you hearing me, brother? You as a man, we look at us. We just like that. You have a children, nothing to really change. So it's not part of our experience, really. They'll go through a whole lot of experiences. You gotta confess that often. Your body doesn't change that much. Even if it's changed, look at the glorious thing, children. Reassure her that you have the same appreciation, the same, this she needs that. It's important. Now, some of us as men, very ignorant. You don't appreciate your wife at home. Anytime you go out, you're looking at a lot of other women, looking at people behind. She's seeing that. It's a very insulting and very disrespectful. Don't do that again, brother. See you wrong. It's important. When your wife dress, please, you gotta appreciate that. It's important. They are made in a certain way. If your wife is working to help you pay the bill, appreciate that. What are you doing? You are meeting her need. It's a feel that she can function better. So I just mentioned a few. So when you are getting into some little argument, women are going to talk a whole lot. Don't exchange, brother, because you can win. In the power of a man, if when a woman get emotional talking a whole lot, you back off, you are in a prayer. Oh, it makes you so mature because you know very well who you're dealing with. When she's in her emotion, talking, it don't bring reasoning because in that moment of emotional stuff, it's a complete neural pathway for emotion that's going on. And there's a complete different pathway for reasoning. And many of us, men, we don't understand that. You want to reason with a woman that's under emotion. Really? How? Like, how? Really? At that moment, be much patient, much prayerful, and slowly she's going to come out of that. Then let time pass when it's possible. You can sit down and talk. If you can do that as a man, you are emotional leader. You're emotionally matured. And trust me, your wife will respect you for that. Sometimes women like talking. Don't follow. Because when you follow, you're going to exchange word. Every word you're going to do will hurt her, and she's going to turn that against you. Are you hearing me? Don't ever get yourself into, you said this to me, I said that to you. No. Because if you get one word that is wrong, she's going to give you more than 10. That is their nature. They multiply anything. So don't go on a battle that you can win. It's not wise. A mature man do not argue with women. You just don't do it. You can have a discussion. Any man, somebody asked the question, no. Men need to know it's your duty to provide, or you should not be a husband. Sorry. It's not obligation. We're not going to go there right now, maybe later. But question time. So now, vice versa, women, you got to study the need of your husband in detail. He is the leader in a home. For him to be able to lead, he needs to be followed. It's a need. I can't lead you if you can't follow my lead. I can't protect you if I tell you, move out of there because something's going to fall. If you won't listen to that, I can't protect you. So women need to understand for this man to lead, to protect, to provide, he needs my submission. He needs my cooperation. I want to make this correctly. Submission means cooperate. That's what it really means. Unless we miss the point. With a carnal mind. Some of us, we are so carnal, we think submission means, yes, sir. No, doesn't mean that. Submission means cooperation. That's why you got to also make yourself a person that is welcoming, that's cooperative. Some of us, we don't listen at all. And we complain about what? If a woman is your helper, you want to listen to the helper, so how she can be a helper to you? Some of us are so full of self and ignorant that we can't listen to anything. You're going to be making a mistake over mistake. Why? God, look, go study the brain. You're going to see women function with the left brain, men function with the right brain much more. and God make it to be complete. So if you want to pay attention to the other one, you are ignorant. Sorry, you gotta correct it. So, wife, I have a news for you. If you don't believe in submission to husband, why did you even get married? If you don't believe in submitting to your husband, which I mean by cooperating with him according to God's will to fulfill God's purpose, I had to be very clear. You can't want a leader that you can't follow his lead. It's dysfunctional. So this leader was meant to the point where when a father is leading the children a certain way, because the mother have a nurturing love, little children, hey. The father's like, the wall you are preparing for will not hug you. The wall is very wicked and very brutal. Like, no, you don't do things right. Go somewhere, you work, you have a job, you behave like you want to get fired. The wall is not there to hug you. It's challenging. So the father is built to discipline, to guide. And the mother, you got to understand that when a father is correcting or disciplining the children, do not interfere. I know it's saying uncomfortable. I'm sorry. You got to let him be a father. Otherwise, you're going to have a broken children. Do you get it, sister? Anytime your husband want to correct, especially the boy, let the father correct them. If you don't feel good around, go in a room, find something to do. Let the man handle his boys. And it's hard for women to understand. I have a news for you. You are capable to feed a boy, to have clothing, everything. You cannot make him a man. Why? You don't have it to give. Yeah, you might lie, you might not like it very much, but I'm sorry, you don't have it. There's a lot of stuff about manhood that you don't have to give to your boy. They're gonna grow up like girls. And the world will treat them as a man. And they're gonna be very shocked and very much damaged. And there are things that women need to understand. Let your man be man, period. So when father corrects children, where they run straight to the mother, and mother hug them. Don't do that. You are giving a wrong image to the children, like if the father was wicked. Over the time, they will not love their father anymore. When the children get corrected, they want to run to you and say, no, go back to papa. That's how it works. They need both love. They need a nurturing power from you. They need a disciplinary love from the father. They need both to get a proper balance for life. So, wife, you gotta sit down and learn how men function. The man role as a leader, the man role as a provider, man role as a protector, man role as an educator. You gotta understand his role and understand his needs, and stop interfering. Why? If you keep interfering, very soon the children will believe that the mother loved them, the father don't love them, and then they're going to become disrespectful very soon to the father. If they are a girl, they don't respect their father. I promise you, the chance to divorce is hard. When they get married, they're going to treat the husband without respect. If that husband can't take disrespect, they're going to divorce. It coming from where? From the mother, the way the mother was treating the husband. Men, we are very different. Very much. We are built. We have bigger muscle, bigger everything, bigger brain, actually. We are built differently. And you got to acknowledge that and respect it. Our hormones are different. So you got to study our need. Man need your respect to function. It's not something we want. We need it to be able to function. Because when a wife respects the husband, what does that mean? It allows the children to respect their fathers. It makes his work as a father and educator much possible. Now, if you are challenging your spouse, even in the presence of your children, I'm sorry, you are ignorant woman and wicked. You are destroying your children slowly. So, as I said for the man needs to study women, her emotion, have everything. Men should see women body soft, everything is soft. To get a treated like that, it's soft. Hear it? Some of the men we treat women as a man. No. So vice versa, don't treat your man as a woman. He is not a woman. So men don't want respect. Men need respect to be able to function as a man in a home. I never, ever, not even once, talk back to my father. It never happens. Why? There was a order in the home. It is something, I don't know how they did it before. It was just something. My father don't need to repeat himself. Everyone know what is done, when it's done, how it is done. That's it. The very moment children cannot follow the order from the father because the mother don't comply, don't function with the father. Future of the children is gone. No discipline, no determination, nothing. The image of the father to the children is more determined by the mother. The way you treat your husband, build that image in their mind. If you treat him as nothing, you're not going to see him as nothing. If you allow cursing him out, you're not going to do the same thing. Before you know, you destroy their whole future. Sometimes it's because women don't know how deep it goes. So when God asks a woman to submit to the husband, God gives the context. A husband that is also submissive to God, husband that also has submissive spirit, that he can be told he's wrong and then take it. My husband, you listen to me? When your wife say you are wrong, husband, and show it to you, be a man enough to say, yeah, I see, I'm wrong. I'm going to fix this. Does not make you small, make you mature. But some of us, the men, we are so full of self and ignorant, we start screaming, blah, 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 I'm at the head. No, behave right as the head. So these are functional things. So you're meant to be able to lead, to be a leader, you got to follow the lead. Otherwise, he will cease to be a leader. And what happened at home? Men go in silent. Why? If you want to listen to me, what's the point talking to you? Then men don't care anymore. Why? But if I care and I want to lead, I want to care for the family, you always go against it. What do I care for anymore? I don't care anymore. You will make a monster from that man. Because talking too much, you don't want to follow any lead, you want to cooperate about anything. And I want to make this to be clear though. Men should not operate as a dictator in the house. I say so. No. If you have any idea, call the helper to bring her brain into it. It's called cooperation. That cooperation is called submission. So it's not a rulership, it's a cooperation where you consider both brain that God made, that when you put it together, it will do something better and much more according to God's will. So when we have that being functional, slowly bring harmony, bring power. A wife that can cooperate with a husband, they can do great things. Sometimes all men need from you is just a simple cooperation. And also you will make some simple suggestion. We are builders. Look around you. We build anything. We build your car. We build your house. We build the road. Build everything. We build stuff. What we need, the idea. Bring a new good ideas. Men respect the women that bring ideas. Honey, I trust you so much. I think you can do this. I believe you can do this. Oh, that's who we are. We build stuff. Like when we're doing everything, don't come say, oh, I don't even know who you. Oh, no, no, no. Appreciate what your husband is doing as a provider, hard worker, doing all of that. And then you suggest more things if necessary. So for him to lead, you need to follow the lead, meaning cooperate. And husband don't have a strong head where just your way is the only way. No, you're not God. Okay, you gotta be very aware of that. The God designed things because we can do it by ourselves. Your men need your submission, meaning your cooperation, to be able to function as a husband, as a leader, as an educator, as everything, as a protector. If you want to listen to the man, he can protect you. He can't do anything. Number two, as you need emotional support, men need sex. Why? We are seed bearer. We bear seed like a seed. It's not about sex. It's about the expression of our being. That's why a lot of people miss this point. It's not about sex at all. It's an expression of how we bound with you, especially a Christian husband, faithful. Wife, both of you need to have a talk about this stuff and have it clear. Sometimes you might be tired, you might not be able to have sex. Find a nice way to convey that to your husband. Say, honey, what about you? Let me rest a little bit and later on we do it. And you do it for a hug and it's a simple, loving word. He will take that. Maybe say, oh, always say, leave me alone, leave me alone. That's called rejection. How men express that? You do not love me. But from a woman, she's honestly tired. She's not available for it. But the way she communicates that, give another message to the husband. That's why you as a woman, you need to study men also, how men function, how men brain function, how testosterone level function in a man. Intelligent men don't refuse sex to their husband, never. And handy cannot at all do it. They're so tired or whatever. They find another simple way. Give a hug to your husband. Husband, I love you so much. But at this moment, my whole being is not available. Let me rest a little bit, and later on, you will enjoy it. It's gonna be so good. Guess what? We just fine. It's good. You're like, okay, no problem. I love you too. And women behave like that if you understand men. You say, oh, all of my husband wants sex. We don't want any sex. Listen up. No men want sex. Get it? Men need sex to function because that's how we bound with you. That's how we maintain love bound with you. If you don't believe in it, then you got to start learning this right. Otherwise, you need to know you are in violation. Sit down and have a discussion with the husband. The next one, husband also have temperance. It's not because she's available, then every day, like you're gonna burst your prostate too. So you need a proper balance, understanding, communicate around it. The wife do ever make your husband feel rejected when it comes to sex. It's wrong. You can put any argument you want about it, do it. I promise you, you will suffer, your children will suffer because of that. A man feel unloved will be unproductive, will be negligent, will not care about nothing. That's what you're offering to your children as a father. By the way, if you, sometimes men, we don't know, we are ignorant, so we don't treat you very well, so you are not available emotionally. What about we say talk? What about you say treat your wife, your husband, it's your husband? If you treat me a certain way, it make me like my body's not available for you. What about you educate your men? Because some of the men, we grew up in a home where we hear our father screaming at your mother. And back then, they're so mature that they can handle it. Now it's different. So wife say, look, if you talk to me a certain way, it does not make my body available to have sex with you. And start educating each other. Treat me well, prepare me, it will be fine. So it had to be communicative, not, oh, I'm not available. Oh, all the way on sex. If you are doing that, you are breaking your home. It's very ignorant. You are destroying the father of your children. And that leads a lot of men into masturbation. And later on can end up in a prostate problem, maybe prostate cancer. You just kill a man. You just make your children orphan. You're doing great? I don't think so. Am I saying that you're going to become sex machine, sex toy? No. Sit and talk. Sit and see how do you meet his need. Why? He needed to function as a man. That's how we feel bound in love with you. Women feel much what? Emotional connection with the man. Men need to meet them to be available emotionally, to know, to trust them that he will always there for me. It's the same thing for the man, especially when this man is a Christian man that's faithful. Now I'm going to say something, pay attention. Do we know, as a man and as a woman, or both sides, the only thing that gives value to you for your spouse is your faithfulness. For example, if a husband is unfaithful, follow carefully, a husband can go out there sleep with anybody anytime. How often do you think he's gonna need your sex? Very little. But because he's faithful to God and faithful to you, he wants to live out, then now your sex become precious to him because it's unique. And you should not abuse that. He should not be punished for it. A lot of women are so ignorant, they will use the sex as a weapon. You're going to bring destruction on your home. For sure. It's just a matter of time. How you put your husband in a position where he can love you. Because that's how he bound with you as a love. That's how men understand love. Respect, having sex. That's how we function. If you are disrespectful to the house, to your spouse, your husband, and then refusing sex to him, I'm sorry, you are not in a marriage life. You are in a misery. And remember, as a wife, your sex have importance only when the man is faithful. Are you hearing me? Vice versa. If a woman can go out and sleep with anybody, do you think he needs you sexually? No, she can go sleep with anyone. So vice versa. So we need to respect this thing that is because we choose to fear God, that we choose to be faithful to you. It should not be abused. Some of the men do it too. Trying to, because you're angry, you want to have sex with your wife. You are ignorant man, please get converted right now. You get me? So God people, practically, we must start from number one, God purpose and vision. Number two, the law, which is selfless love. We will allow Christ to cleanse our character for the marriage of the Lamb. Number three now, study the need of each other and start expressing, meeting the need. So like I said, the men need to be so available for their wife emotionally. The wife needs to know you are the only man on earth she can fall onto like anytime, fall back on you anytime, in any situation, and be there emotionally. Many men, we don't understand it. It's very frustrating to women. When a woman come tell you something happened, don't ignore it. Sometimes men we are like that. She brought some story that you are not really concerned. You are not concerned, but she's concerned. So you gotta be interested into it. Why? She needs that. She needs to have emotional connection with you. You gotta express that daily. So vice versa, woman, listen up. If you know your husband needs sex, why are you gonna wait for him to come for it? You're not gonna like this. I'm sorry. This is me. This is not a Bible. This is me. At least once a week. You do this in my name, okay? Once a week. You go and initiate sex and make love to that man. Like you take control. Let him feel like I desire you. You can go on top and ride him very well. You hear me? And the man like, oh, you're gonna tell to his friend, you can't believe what my wife did last night. Man, I was amazed. It was so good. That's how we feel. We can take a second job just for that. Because we feel man, we feel loved. We can do so much. Maybe anytime we need, we get rejected. Anytime we need, we get rejected. What are we there for? There are a lot of Christians you have in the church, a lot of people, even elders, they're sleeping around because they are not met whole. So husband and wife need to sit down. And all of this only possible if we are transformed, if we are selfless. Number 4, everyone need to work steadily with their defect of character. That should come before number 3, but it's okay. Husband, work on your flaws. The way we talk to our spouse. If you are disrespectful, please start learning to be respectful. If you are too harsh, learn to become much better than them. Yeah, I tell my wife, anytime I go wrong, just tell me straight. Because I'm willing to get better. Oh yeah. You got to be, it had to be willful. You got to be conscious and be engaged into it. Don't walk around like I'm a man. No, you are a man, then what? You have a lot of flaw, a lot of defective character. You are impatient, you are loud, you are disrespectful, inconsiderate. This need to be cleaned out. Some of the men, we are very compromising. We are not steady in anything. It's very frustrating to the man, to the women. Tomorrow, we don't have a spiritual life. We are not spiritual leaders. Your wife is so confused, don't know what to do. Don't take it lightly. You can't lead if you are negligent spiritually. So we bring our defect to God. Say, Lord, cleanse me from impatience. Cleanse me from this. And when you allow the Lord to work on you, daily she see a husband that has been changed. A husband that can be corrected. He can take correction and fix things. Husband that's much humble. Husband that's changing. Come on, that's the best gift. Vice versa. Women, bring your mind to God daily. Say, Lord, I'm disrespectful to my spouse. Help me. Yeah. Lord, I'm unloving. Help me. Let we go to the core of our defect. Say, Lord, search my heart. Reveal to me the defect in my character. If both of you individually will work on this and grow daily, I promise you're going to have a powerful marriage life. Number 5, create things that you do together. Create moments together. It's very important. You got to create a moment for Bible study. That will not involve children. This is not a general study. It's a moment of bounding at the same time doing something both of you enjoy. Okay. Husband and wife can choose to study, for example, the book of Proverbs just together. You choose to study the book of, what do you call it? Ecclesiastic, whatever, anything. They must have something. It's a Bible study, but at the same time, it's a bounding moment. Okay. It's so important. They can choose to have to follow a seminar on marriage, both to have a book to read together, the book on communication in marriage. These are very important. And that I recommend Friday, every Friday, husband and wife have a moment of cleaning up all your dirty laundry. Make it as a preparation for Sabbath. Confess whatever went wrong throughout the week. Forgive each other. Hug whatever you can. Let everything go and enter into Sabbath with a cleansed mind and a purged conscience. It is so powerful. Don't keep things like that. No, no, you got to work on it. So, moment together to study, moment together to correct each other. Sometimes you can find a moment and say, what are the things do you think I should change or I should improve? Weekly, you gotta do that. You gotta always have time, a quality time together. It is so important. Christ says, well, come, let us reason. See, let us reason and fix it. So husband and wife should come together and say, okay, let's reason. Let's reason to see, no matter how it's our defect, we can forgive each other and help each other. We must have a moment of coming and reasoning and of discussion and opening. This is where you talk about a whole lot of stuff. Uncommunicated expectation, we talked about the other day. Say everything. If you don't feel that your husband is expressing love enough, teach him that. Husband, if you don't think that your wife wants to bond with you properly enough, say that. If you both of you need to choose how and when, find a time to fast and pray every week, at least one day a week together. So this is so crucial, very much, very, very much. And if you do these things slowly now, it will start transforming life. You start improving how you function, how you communicate. You gotta really go in detail. Wife, you don't like your husband to address a certain way, talk to him. Say, look, I don't like when you address me this way, this way. And husband, please pay attention and correct that. And when it's happened, apologize. It's a crucial, very much. Develop discipline among both of you. Discipline is very important. I would say that will be number 6, discipline. Discipline means we agree to do things a certain way. And that should be followed. If we want to go to bed earlier, there's not a moment you go for a shower. These are little things, there's not a moment you're going to stay on the phone with a friend or any member. No, it's called discipline. Discipline with money, discipline with time, discipline with everything. And the very moment we become very disciplined, it makes everything work easily. Discipline is a powerful thing. Make it a rule. You don't make financial decisions by yourself. No. You don't spend money on anything by yourself. No. It will protect you from making financial mistakes and a lot of stuff called discipline. As a man, you don't give the appearance of evil. You got to discipline yourself. You don't talk to a lot. You don't have a particular deal with any sister out of the church. You give a wrong impression. You are an undisciplined man. A lot of sisters in the church have no problem sleeping with other people's husbands. It's happening right there in the church, a whole lot. So you don't make yourself friendly to other sisters. No. Just be kind. Christian kindness, that's it. Don't be friendly to nobody. Why? Don't create emotional connection. It's disrespectful to your spouse. It's called discipline. There's a thing you just don't do it. Discipline. So both of you will go through it, all that it takes. How are we going to deal with the children? We're going to have a discipline for it. Sabbath keeping, what are we going to do? Everything must have a way of discipline. So in that, it allowed men to function better as a leader. You cannot lead people that are undisciplined. And a man, you got to learn leadership a whole lot. You don't lead by How? By pushing. No, you lead by renewing people's minds. You lead by teaching and winning people understanding and conviction. That's how you lead. So everything should be learned, and slowly, I would say they will become easier. So watch for your health. I recommend for couple to have at least 1 day a week where they fast and pray and do cleanse, detox, and regeneration. Okay, cleanse, detox, nourish, and regeneration. Every month, 3 days. Husband and wife do that. Every 3 months, do 7 days. Choose your food properly, because a lot of food are messed up our gut, make us very angry. We look at Dr. Russell Brella, how the wheat, the rice, this thing full of glyphosate is messing up our gut and make us very, very angry. So the kind of food we're eating at home is affecting our behavior. So we gotta start choosing quality food, quality health, a lot of stuff. So they must have intentional way of living. With divine help and constant education, everything gonna work. So create a moment, create things. Don't wait for vacation. So husband, you are not too old to have a movie time. Once a week at least, choose some very good Christian movie. It can be at the same time romantic. Both of you can watch it. And after that, have a good sex before you sleep. This is a simple thing you can add to the way you live. Nobody coming to make it for you. Get it? So, God, people, may God be with you, that we bring everything into practice, and it's going to change the way we live. But above all, your marriage life involves your salvation. If you don't work on it today, I promise you will not see God. If you don't allow Christ to cleanse all your defective character and prepare you for the marriage of the Lamb, you cannot see the Lord. So it's not a suggestion to get our marriage life fixed, but it's mandatory for our salvation. So I call the man to be very humble and to lead by humility, by Christ-like experience in a home. I call women to cooperate with their spouse. Call everyone to follow God with. I encourage you, do all it takes. Educate each other, educate yourself, grow up. So let me recap. Number one is get God purpose and vision for marriage very well, which is the marriage of the Lamb. Number two, the law. The law here is, the law for the marriage of the Lamb is let Christ cleanse you by his word, remove every spot, every wrinkle, be in a covenant relationship with Christ for the marriage of the Lamb. Number three, the need. Because anytime you have a law, it will meet the need. You're going to meet the need of each other very much. The husband needs to study the need of your wife. You're going to really, really in detail study the need of your wife. Be her best friend. Be her best emotional. Like we're gonna learn to be romantic as a man in a Christ-like way. Learn things that make your wife blush. Are you hearing me? Like, yeah, we gotta learn stuff. We can write a letter to our wife. We can write poem. Like you can be creative about this stuff. We can if we want to. You can create a poem just on your wife's body and write it and send it to her. Are you hearing me? We can learn the need and go for it. Vice versa to women. Meet the need of your husband. Let him feel as a man. Let him lead. Provide he need your cooperation to lead. Number four, we got to heal the defective character. Everybody go to Christ to be healed. Don't take your defect lightly. This is for your salvation. And number four, the moment. You got to create a moment together. Moment is crucial. Number five, discipline. That's number five is a moment together for prayer, for study, for everything, for movie, for anything you want. And number six, discipline. They must have absolute discipline in the home. That nobody don't need to be telling people, oh, do this, do that. No, everybody should know what to do. It must have a discipline. Everybody know what to do, how to do it, when to do it. It facilitates leadership in the home. And number 7, your marriage is about your salvation. To get it well and practice all the above. So God bless you so much. Now we're going to take few questions.
All right. For those on YouTube, if you want to be a part of the Q&A, you can join us on Zoom. So we're signing off YouTube.